Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-March 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for Virgo gang in mid-March? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo in mid-March. What's the vibe? What's the energy swirling all around my friends here? Let's get this started off on a nice note. Thank you. Okay. So I like this card. It's normally a pretty good way to start off. It reminds me of the Two of Pentacles quite a bit. If you're connected to a Libra, they could be showing up here in a very big way. That's one of your zodiacal neighbors, so you might have some placements in Libra too. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the March subscriber surprise towards that, and so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little more in depth about this card. So yes, as I mentioned, it does remind me of the Two of Pentacles. If you just look at the imagery here, it's really nice. We have this individual. They have a little yin yang on their chest. There's literally the Libra symbol right there on the bottom. And it's like he's holding these two different yin yangs as well. So to me, this is a card of balance. Now, first and foremost, for a lot of Virgos, maybe something is coming into a state of harmony or balance. That could be a really, really good thing when this card is here. So we're going to hope that that holds up throughout the reading itself. But the Two of Pentacles isn't always perfectly balanced. So there could be something very particular that's getting under your skin a little bit in this time, where it's like, well, this is going okay, this is going okay, but this is like really throwing me off. This is really bugging me. I don't know why that's coming through the way it is. So just keep in mind, there could be something very particular that's just under the skin. But normally this is a beautiful, balanced, nice, harmonious type of energy. So we do like to see it up front, because that could tell us that good energy is coming in. Now, another thing I always say with Two of Pentacles type energy, it could be very busy. So for some Virgos, that could be it as well. Whether it's your mind or the activities you're doing, it's just like busy, 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 nonstop, go, 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 go. So make sure you don't burn yourself out when that type of energy presents itself. But we're going to leave it over there. It could keep balancing and chilling out. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card here, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Virgos. What's going on? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled, the title was a little harsh. It was titled The Big Rejection. Now, that didn't mean that a person was going to reject you outright. To me, it did feel more like a rejection of anything, really. So for some Virgos, maybe it was a behavior, or maybe it was a thought process, or maybe just something where it's like, no, I don't have the time for that right now. That was a big energy that was showing up. So just know that in the coming weeks, that could be the same thing. You might be putting a wall up in regards to someone or a situation, or you could at the very least, be being very cautious. So we're going to see what energy shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for my lovely Virgos. What is going on in mid-March? Thank you. Okay. Hey, the Ace of Swords, Sword of Truth. You can't go wrong with that card. And I always love to start off a reading with aces. I feel like it's a really nice, fresh type of energy for us to lead off with. So I do like it. It's powerful. It is very much a no-nonsense type of energy here. Let's get a couple more. Whoa, okay. So we have Judgment here in the center. There's a lot of powerful, like serious business type of energy I'm picking up here. Let's get one more. Okay, is this you being very strict in your ways? Is it somebody else? I don't know. The energy just feels very straightforward. It feels extra blunt for one reason or another. And we have the Two of Swords. So there's a ton of air energy in your spread this week. So we'll get that Two of Swords. That could be a very mysterious card, a mysterious vibe, we'll just have to see how it all plays together. But yeah, let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always look at the elements first, and I already mentioned it. There is like a whole ton of air energy. Now, I always get a little cautious when there's too much of any single element. Now, even in the beginning, we had the Libra energy, which is air. They're an air sign. Now we have the Ace of Swords, the Two of Swords, and it could even be argued judgment because Gabriel was the messenger. Um, Air is about the mind. It's about logic. It's about the thought process, but it could also be communication. So we could be seeing a lot of things here about talks. There could be a lot of chit chat and chatter when all this type of energy is here. And the reason it concerns me a little bit is with an abundance of air, it could cause overthinking, stress, and nervousness, stuff like that. But it doesn't have to be a bad thing. This could be very good. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out. So position number one, we are starting with the Ace of Swords. Lovely. And I say all aces are opportunities. They could all represent offers. The Ace of Swords gets the nickname of the Sword of Truth. So it cuts to the chase. It cuts to the point. There's no BS, no nonsense, no games. It is the cold, hard facts, the cold, hard truth. So whether that's how you're looking at something or whether that's coming towards you, whenever I see the Ace of Swords, there are no frills with this type of energy, and that could be a very good thing. But the inverse with this type of energy, yes, it could be very stern and very serious, but sometimes it could be hurtful and cold. So if you're dealing with any individual that has really sharp words, the Ace of Swords could represent it. Now, this card can also show up when you're trimming certain things out of your life. So whether you're tweaking your health routine, whether it's certain things where it's like, oh, this isn't sustainable. It's like we're making tweaks, we're removing things, we're adding things. That's a big thing I always get with the Ace of Swords. But with all aces, it represents potential. Remember, it's a very fresh energy. Now, one thing I say, aside from this being a card of talking and communicating, all aces have a shadow side. And the shadow side of this card is that it's not guaranteed. Okay? It's like a very fresh energy with a lot of potential, but it's not completely set in stone. So that's something to watch out for. Now, moving to the center, and we'll get this Sword of Truth tucked in right by this amethyst once again, so it could get comfy, cozy. In the center, we have Judgment taking up the center of the spread. Now, I like Judgment. It's Plutonian energy. It does represent change. When we see it, we think of a powerful, explosive type of vibe. Now, it could be a literal judgment that you're making, where it's like, okay, well, I need to either do this or I need to do that. It could be somewhat of a crossroads. It's like, all right, well, do I continue doing this or do I do something completely different? If you're thinking of how to solve issues and problems, judgment call is very important because it's like, I'm actually going to do something about this. This is a huge card of action, but again, change. Since it is Plutonian, it's also one of the karmic cards as well. So there could be karmic undertones here. So it's just very powerful. But a challenge to this card is it can be too overwhelming, right? It's so powerful that it could just be too much, too overwhelming. So hopefully you don't have something on your plate that's like taking you to the max. That could be possible here when this card's in the mix. And aside from the karmic archetypes, Judgment sometimes shows up when things swing back around, when things return, situations, people. So we're just going to have to see how it all plays out when we get to the clarifying. Now, moving to the very back end, we have the Two of Swords. And it's interesting how we have this little thing going on, especially in all the earth signs. There's been tons of twos. So watch out for the repeating numbers, signs, synchronicities from the universe, but all twos, similar to Judgment, represent a crossroads, decisions, choices. Now, in the classical sense, the Two of Swords can represent someone that is indecisive. It could be confusion. It could be someone that doesn't really know what to do or how to handle something. I'm not saying that's you. It could be someone completely different. But to me, when I see the Two of Swords, I just think of mystery. Notice the person is hoodwinked. It's nighttime. The moon is here. There's a lot of symbolism here of the unknown, the unexpected, or surprising. So that's a big vibe we get here. It can also represent delays, situations, possible problems, but I don't think it is, especially since the Sword of Truth is here, because the Sword of Truth is the antidote to this, where this energy shrouded, the Sword of Truth is very straightforward. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my friends. Let's see what's happening. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Sword of Truth. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right. Sword of Truth time. What's happening? Why is the Ace of Swords here? Oh, almost. The card popped out of my hand and right back into it. So you know we only read jumpers around here. I guess it didn't want to come out. Let's get one card here for the Ace of Swords. There we go. Thank you. Lovers in reverse, huh? Okay. This is a little cautionary. Oh, man. All right. To me, it is just no frills, no nonsense like we were seeing with the Ace of Swords. It's like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I don't care what they think about it. Okay, now for some of you, watch out for issues with partnerships. That could be the case with the Ace of Swords, Lovers in reverse. And just to mention, a couple of themes here. The Lovers has the Archangel Raphael, so you have a lot of Archangel spiritual energy. And the Lovers is also Gemini. So it's like we've had Libra, we've had this, now we have Gemini. It's like all air energy. So there is like importance around communication. And this one I'm seeing right here in the front could be very, very serious, straightforward to the point. Like honesty to a fault is what I'm picking up here. So again, if you're dealing with issues or problems right now, maybe that's a mode you need to get into, where it's like, listen, just say for what it is, speak the facts, just say what's on your mind, like don't fluff it up. It's like the cold hard truth. That's the big thing I'm picking up here in the front. Now, aside from possible issues with people that we care close or very close to, the Lovers could represent soul ties, soul connections, you name it, karmic connections. When it's in reverse, it's either issues in that realm or someone just saying, I'm going to speak my piece. If it offends you, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not, right? Like if it offends you, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm going to say what I have to say. So that's a big thing I'm picking up here in front. So either there is something that needs to be addressed with a person you're connected to, or it's someone who's like, there's no filter here, but it does feel like a very serious talk or conversation. That's like the big thing I'm picking up here in the front. And there's no game playing here at all. That's just the big vibe I've been picking up since the beginning. It's still showing up. So let's keep moving. We're not going to get stuck there. Let's see what Judgment has. Then we'll get into the Two of Swords. So still there's like an overabundance of air energy here. Let's go in on Judgment. We'll see what that's about, because that's an energy that could shift and change. Hopefully you don't have hard feelings with somebody. That could be possible. But let's see why Judgment is in the mix. Why is Judgment here? The deck is being super particular for you this week. Usually with my Virgo readings, I do a couple shuffles, the card pops out. Chariot. Whoa. Okay, so there is some sort of dynamic that is about to shift and change in one of the most powerful ways. And listen, I try my best not to get too grandiose when it comes to the way I describe things. But when we couple Judgment and the Chariot, this is like almost unstoppable type of energy. So again, whether this is like a change that's already been kicked into motion, it's just explosive and it's unstoppable type of energy. Like good luck trying to slow this down. Okay, so for some of you, that might just be the energy within you where it's like, my mind is set, this is what I'm doing, nothing's going to stop me. It could be somebody taking a very hardline stance as well. So just keep that in mind. Now, my experience with Virgos, very sweet people, right? All the ones I know in my personal life, all the ones I've done personal readings for, very, very sweet people. But when I see this energy, there's a certain aggression I'm picking up here where it's like, no, this is what it is. My mind is set. It's like a hardline stance in regards to something. Now, the Chariot could represent distance, travel. It does connect to Cancer, which is normally emotional, but it's a card of determination and it can be confrontational. So again, it's like either an unstoppable change or an explosive one where it's just like, boom, like this is the railroad track I'm on and nothing's going to stop this train. Okay, so whether that's an energy you're going to be filled with or how you're feeling now, it just feels very, very intense. So that could also tell me for a lot of Virgos, maybe you're either feeling very intense things or the situations you're going through are heightened. Like the intensity of the energy is just, it's a lot. And that's a lot coming from an Aries sun with a Scorpio moon, right? Those are my two of my big placements. But let's keep moving. Let's see what the Two of Swords has, because that is the mystery. That's the wild card. But let's see why the Two of Swords is here. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Two of Swords here, please, for Virgo? And again, very particular. The deck is just being very particular how it chooses your cards. And I think you're going to feel better after this. I think you're going to feel a lot better after this. The results you get, and again, I don't know exactly what it is you might be dealing with, but the results you get after all this intensity I'm feeling, it's like, okay, I feel better. It's like, like for some reason, I feel not only relieved, but I feel good about how something went. So I feel like there could be like some surprising or unexpected results where it's like, oh, that went better than I thought it would. Queen of Wands, if you're connected to a fire sign, this could just be them showing up. But the Queen of Wands is a card of beauty, of confidence, especially self-confidence, and she is fired up. So although we have like all this air, a little bit of water, I did speak about the intensity. This is also a very intense card. And the thing with fire energy, it could also be a little unpredictable. So when I see it under the Two of Swords, either you're going to feel better when you didn't think you would, or it's just giving me unexpected results. It's like, okay, but I'm happy with this. Maybe it wasn't easy, but I'm happy with the results I have. Okay, so to me, it just says at the end of the day, even if you don't see it now, you're going to be pleased with the results of whatever all this stuff is, whether it's the change, whether it's the conversation, whether it's everything mixed together. It's like, I feel like a weight's lifted. That's kind of what this feels like to me. And I think that's really nice. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. So a lot of intensity in your reading this week, and that's okay. But if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the Ace of Swords with the Lovers in reverse. So again, watch out for little communication issues, especially with people that are near and dear to your heart, because you might have a few squabbles with people when that energy is in the mix. But I also see somebody saying, you know what? I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to say what's on my mind. If it hurts your feelings, oh well, which might seem a little harsh, but that's just how it's presenting itself to me on the front end. And it could just be a very serious talk where it's like, no, we need to address this, or I'm going to address this. If you don't want to address it, I'm going to address it. Moving to the center, we have Judgment with the Chariot, one of the most intense alignments you could have in tarot. Like I said, it could be an explosive change or an unstoppable one where it's like, it could just be you taking a hardline stance with something, saying like, no, this is what it is, this is my decision, and this is how it's moving. But just the intensity of this energy from front to back. Just watch out for overwhelming feelings in this time. Moving to the back end, we have the Two of Swords with the Queen of Wands. You're going to be happy with the result, whether it's this change or this talk or both. I feel like this is an unexpected or a surprising result where it's like, okay, that went better than I thought it would. I feel like at the end of the day, things swing in your favor. So that's good. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for my lovely Virgos. What is in the shadows for my good friends? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get your one here. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. And I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card going. What do we got for Virgo? Nice and quick. There we go. Quickest card today. All right, so the Libra energy. So it's like we started the reading with Libra energy and we're capping it off because we have Lady Justice showing up as the shadow card. So again, karmic, similar to Judgment. A card of balance, similar to this card here in the very beginning. So it's like you have this strong air energy that's just coursing through your whole entire reading this week. Now, Lady Justice can just represent karmic cycles that we're going through. So for some Virgos, that could just simply be it. It's like, all right, well, you're going through some sort of metamorphosis or karmic process when this card shows up. Watch out for legal things in this time. If any of you are like signing contracts, leases, anything that you're putting your signature on, just be very careful with it. Read it a couple times when this card is here because I link justice to legal situations. But if that's not the case, justice usually represents things coming into a state of balance. So again, I like it for the most part. So we're just going to put it down right there. And yeah, Virgo, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give the details of the March subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me and get a little glimpse into whatever situations you're dealing with, you can check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The March schedule is up and live. But for the March subscriber surprise, giving away 3 copies of one of my most favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, where in this beautiful big world are you from? I'll go first. I'm from New Jersey. And you could just put it down in the comments and you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.